Oh, hey, how's it going? When did you guys get here? My name is Mike. Channel's name's Health and Wealth. Today we're talking about, can I do options successfully? I used to trade covered calls, a number of years ago, a couple of years ago. And I did it with a whole bunch of other stocks out there: Riot, SoFi, AMC, Tilray. I think that might have been it. And those are the ones I traded covered calls on, which means I had to own the stocks to do the covered calls. That's the way Questrade was back in the day. You couldn't write puts unless you had a certain amount of money in. So this video today, I'm talking about, can I beat my former position? My former position was CONY, CONY. Can I beat it myself by trading options on other funds other than Coinbase? So I'm putting together a little mission over here. If you want to follow along with the mission, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about the mission. And I'm going to talk about what I did today. First time ever, and I'm pretty excited about it. This is meant for learning. This is meant for education. It's not meant for you to follow suit or do the same thing, because it is pretty risky, the move I made. And I'll discuss that with you in the video here. But I hope you're entertained. I hope you learned something from it, and then maybe get to share your stories as well. I'm looking to expand my portfolio a little bit here, expand what I do out there in the world of stocks and ETFs and trading. So today was the first step for doing that. I'm really excited about it, but yeah, it was cool. It was good. So first things first, I sold out of CONY a few days ago. I made a video on it. If you didn't see it, I'll post it at the end of this video. CONY is part of the YieldMax funds, and YieldMax made a decision to do reverse splits on 12 of their funds, CONY being one of them. Haven't been very impressed with CONY over the last year here, down 72% in share price. Now, that's not the whole picture. It did pay out a good distribution that entire time. So we should paint that picture fairly. And its sole purpose in life is to pay money, distributions out, and any means possible, right? With strike prices and things like that. It's just that it didn't fit what I wanted to do anymore. And once they did the reverse split, even though the dollar amount would be the same in my account, right? It would go from $4 to $40 here, 46. I just didn't like its progress, right? It just kept, if it goes down another 72% in the next year, right? That's 72% on $46. So, that's just the trend that's happening. And I just didn't want to be a part of that anymore. So I decided to pull my money out. I pulled out at about $5.01 and moved it over to a cash account. Now, this is brand new over at Questrade. I hear you can't do this if you're with Wealthsimple, so it might be something to think about. And if you ever do want to make the switch, I do have my referral link in the pinned comment below. You get $50, and so do I if you make that change. But over at Questrade, they now allow you to do cash secure puts. They did before, but you needed a margin account, level 4 account, and $10,000 in there. So now you need a level 2 account. It could be a cash account or margin account, and you need the exact money that you're going to use. So today I performed a cash secure put with the money that I took from my CONY. And you can probably tell by my screen what I did it with. It was TSLL. I'm shaking my head, everybody. I said I didn't want to do TSLL. It seemed too risky. But man, I looked at probably 50 different stocks and ETFs out there, and looking for premiums and looking for, something that would make me more money than CONY does. I couldn't find anything. I was looking at Air Canada. I was looking at American Airline. I was looking at a whole bunch of companies I've never heard of before. NU is a symbol. I looked at Riot. I just didn't like the way Riot was going. It's not where I want it to be right now. $13 share price. If I had done an $11 strike, it wouldn't have made me very much. And I still think if Bitcoin keeps going down, it's going to go down below 11. So I'm holding off on that one. So as you can see here, I had TSLL open. It's a leverage fund, right? And it's pretty darn risky, that's for sure. So for me, it was a risk that I took, and it was a timed risk. So I'm going to share that with you right now. And first, I'm going to show you my investing sheet here. This is the CONY sheet, and I'm going to do my TSLL on the same section as CONY here, just to put it in perspective, right? So there's my sold price, $5.01. I sold 295 shares. And so it worked out to, well, I had $1,500 almost exactly in my account. Its current price, though, since I sold it, way down to 464. So I'm happy personally about my decision so far. Now today they announced that they're going to pay out 6 cents per share. So if you multiply that times the 295 here, it works out to being $17.70. Cool. So what I did is I opened up a position with TSLL. So I did something called the wheel, and I got a really good diagram up here for you in a second to take a look at. If you've never done this before, the way I think about it is like I'm going shopping for something at a discounted price, at a price that I'm comfortable buying it at. And so that's what I did. So current price right now is $16.34. The strike price that I put together was at $15. So I said if TSLL gets to $15 or below, I buy it at $15. And because of that, I got myself a $45 premium minus the 99-cent commission that Questrade takes, so a total of $44. So I'm going to go ahead. I'll put this up here right now. Actually, this one right here. I just kind of created this little file, and I'll move my head down a little bit further for you here. So this is just kind of a depiction of how the wheel works, the strategy works. So the first thing you have to do is find a stock or an ETF that you want to write a call on. Again, like I said, I looked at 40 or 50 today. None really blew me away, and I was kind of limited because I only had $1,500 to write this call on. If I had had 2,000 or 2,500, I would have had way more options than what I looked at. So I was a little bit limited. So first things first is sell puts, and so I did at TSLL. So I sold at a $15 strike price. And again, that just means that if the share price of TSLL before November 28th, which is next Friday, or on Friday, sorry, if TSLL is $15 or less, then I've purchased the shares at $15. Right now, this morning when I made this move, the strike price was $16.51. So that left me with what's called a 21% delta. What that really means, let's dumb that way down for people like me. It's like a 20% chance it's going to get there, mathematically. Now, of course, it could definitely get there, especially in a market like the ones we have right now. And that's the risk I was willing to take. But that's probably why I got such a good premium, which was, let me go back here and look at it. $45 minus my commission, so $44. Let me add that text box in here, and then we can kind of put that. I'm actually just going to go $44 premium. And I really like to kind of have that sitting there. And if you think about it, right, if I did get assigned at $15, I've already generated $44 from that. So that would bring it down to like, what would that bring it down? $16 and, $14.56, something like that. Math, who needs it? But that, actually, no, $14, yeah, 65 cents, something like that, 55 cents. 54, 56, whatever it is, right? And so that would bring my average cost down a little bit there too. So am I hoping that it gets to 15? No, I would love for it to stay exactly where it is for the rest of my life. I calculated if I was able to do it every week, which I don't think the premiums will be that juicy. This is a week and a half worth of time. But if I was able to calculate that and do that every single week the way it is right now, it would take me 33 weeks to be fully paid back. And personally, I feel like that might be still too aggressive out there, and I don't necessarily want that'd be great if I got paid back, but I might be biting a little too close to the strike price if that's the case. And so we all know, Yield Max people that follow this channel or Roundhill or defiance. You all know what happens when we get too close to the strike price. You get assigned, right? And so for me, on the wheel process, I would take it at 15 or below. You can always roll it too, which I wouldn't do, I don't think, but you would get assigned. At that point, you would then sell calls, and they would be called covered calls because you actually own the shares at that point. And let's just say hypothetically it came at $15. You would sell a call at $15 in the hopes of getting that thing out of your hands and generating maximum premium. And then if it gets assigned, that next Friday or 2 Fridays, whatever it is you've chosen, the stocks get called away. You got your premium that entire time. No matter what happens, you've generated, just like above here, I've generated this $44. It's in my account. They can't touch it no matter what happens. But they've also taken my $1,500 and held it until next Friday, right? I can't do anything. It's a cash secure put. They've secured the cash for the put. But down here, if my cover call gets assigned, that's great. Then the calls get taken away and I restart the process. Now, I'm not married to TSLL. In fact, I'm in a fight with TSLL in my mind. I don't even want to be dating TSLL, but right now we're just acquaintances getting to know each other. But I don't want to be around too long because it is very, very risky and volatile and can flip at the turn of a drugged out CEO earnings call. So, for now, that's the one I have. I'm going to continue to build up the cash in that account. And I think what I really want to do, you guys know how I started using margin. I was taking out $500 every 3 weeks or so and then paying it off in full. I'm going to keep doing that, but I'm going to reduce it. I'm going to go $250 for margin and then $250 into the cash account. And then I'm going to continue to build the cash account up so that I can write more calls, but potentially on more stable names, which will allow me to, have more cash in there, which will give me the ability to buy more stable names up there. Once I get in the 20s and the $30 regions, maybe they're slightly more stable. That's the benefit, that they don't move as much, but the downside is that the premiums aren't as high as TSLL. So it's kind of a fine line that you got to choose here. You got to choose your risk tolerance and understand what really could happen here. This thing could dive down to $12 and, well, shoot, I bought it at 15, right? These are the risks that you take, and you got to know your outs, right? How do I get out of this cash secure put if I want to? These are all things that we're going to learn in time, but I find it to be pretty fun. I spent a lot of time over the last 2 weeks looking for names, and then this morning I just came right back to TSLL just because it was the most lucrative. I looked at the chart of TSLL. Let's go bring it up right here. And I looked over the last 6 months, right? And you can see there for a long time, all the way up until August and September, it was in the $12 range. And then since September 17th till now, it's hanging around the $20 range. But here we are. We had a big drop this past month, 10 days ago, 9 days ago. And, will it fall back down here? I just hope that it doesn't fall back down here before November. Let me just make sure the date's correct here. Yeah, the 28th, which is not this Friday, but next Friday. That's my hope, right? So we'll see how it goes. So far, pretty fun to do, that's for sure, but definitely risky, especially when you're picking risky ETFs out there. I am looking for suggestions. I'm looking for $15 stocks or ETFs or less to be able to do this with, because right now my cash is zero. But on November 28th, it'll be $1,500 again, plus 44. But we'll see, right? So I might have to do this a few weeks in a row to generate enough income to bring it up to $16 or $1,600, $1,700, $18, all the way up to $2,000. But so far, it's been good. I'm excited about this for sure. Talk to me about your options trading. Are you doing it? Have you been thinking about doing options trading in your world? For me, I've always done options basically since the first year I've ever invested, but it's always been the covered call style. So I am very, very excited to get into this because it is a really good way of generating extra income, side cash, One thing I do worry about is the taxes because it's now on a cash account. So that's $44 in income I've generated. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that for the first time in my life because every other trade I've ever made has been in a tax-free savings account. So I'm a little nervous about that, but I'm going to, focus on the positives here, right? I generated $44. Of course, I got to pay tax on that at the end of the year. So, all of it's documented inside my Questrade account. And I can go take that to the tax person and have it dealt with. So, yeah, good times. If you enjoyed the content, if you're excited to maybe follow along with the journey, I hope you hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to, I don't know, 20,000 by this time next year. Is that possible? If you like a normal dude just who works a normal job with a normal family trying to make it out in the world, I hope you hit the subscribe, the like. My name is Mike. Channel's name is Health and Wealth. You're awesome. Have a great day. Bye for now.